Hey there, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought it might be fun to talk about artfight. If you don't know what artfight is, the most basic explanation is that it's an art gifting game. It happens once a year every July. Basically, people choose a team, draw each other's characters, and collect points for when they draw the characters. I want to talk about my favorite things on artfight, as well as some pet peeves I have, but I'll start off with the positives. But I do have a few complaints, or I don't know what you'd call it. Not exactly complaints. I like artfight a lot. Overall, it was a great artfight. I want to first say I love how artfight includes every level artist. It's not good or bad art based. I love seeing new people join to experiment with art and grow and improve their skills. I've personally been one of the beginners before. I joined back in 2020 with interesting art. But I had fun, and personally, I've never seen anyone get hate on artfight for having beginner art. I've heard it's happened before, but I've never seen it firsthand. Most people love when you draw their characters. It doesn't matter what skill you have, it matters that you put time and effort into drawing their lovely characters. Another thing I love about artfight is the variety of character designs, stories, breeds, and styles. There's truly something for everyone to draw. My favorites are honestly brightly colored characters or humans, but there's so many people with cool characters that can be fun to draw or practice drawing things that are out of your comfort zone. Artfight is the perfect way to have a fun time to improve your skills, experiment, or even just draw what you're comfortable with. The next thing I want to talk about is how kind people on artfight are. Usually people are very friendly, very kind, very just excited to have their characters drawn, they're excited to see your art, they're excited to draw your characters. If you draw someone's character, most of the times the receiver of the art will comment on your drawing. They'll thank you, they'll scream about the character, how lovely you did their hair or something. But they don't always comment, and in that case you can't be upset. They're usually just shy if they don't comment. It's uncommon for them to not, but I've had like 2 people that don't comment, but I'm sure they still appreciate the art, they're just a bit shy. But most times, people respond. They love what you make, or they'll draw your character and they might even say something that they really like about your character. Maybe they like the design, maybe they like the story, maybe they think their powers are cool. People on artfight are always just really, really kind. They're always very, just excited. I don't know how to describe it. It's always just a really good time when artfight comes around. Sometimes also you will need to leave a private message with someone, just asking for character details like what their body type is, or if the design is symmetrical or if it's asymmetrical. People appreciate when you reach out to make sure you draw their character right. I know I've never been annoyed by anyone reaching out, so if you're unsure, you always can reach out, and people will respond the best they can. Usually they help very, very much. They'll be like, oh yeah, for sure, it's like this. They might provide a visual reference, or they might compare it to one of your characters to help. I had someone compare their character's body type to one of my characters that I had described in their description. So, people just really are nice. I don't know what else to say. I just really appreciate it, and it's always so fun on artfight. Now on to my small complaints and pet peeves. Point farmers are the first thing I'll talk about. Point farmers are just people who make a ton of art to get points for their team. Drawing a lot isn't the problem. My issue is that they draw art that's low quality or miss important character details on purpose. Well, not on purpose, but like the quality is low and you can just tell that they didn't really put care into it. They make like 1,000 attacks every month, and the art that they make is just really tiny. It doesn't look like they put care into it. They always mark their art with polished, meaning that they spend extra effort on it, they put more time into it, they are really proud of it, and their artwork never represents that. It's just a way to gain like a little extra points. I believe that someone who draws a sketch that's messy, uncolored, no shading, maybe missing some character details, they shouldn't mark their art as polished. Something that's like clean sketch or like colored at least, maybe a bit of shading, a scene, anything like that. If someone's proud of it, if they think that it's one of their best works, mark it as polished, that's awesome. But if they just make a little headshot that's messy and you can't really tell if it's your character or not, it just annoys me that they put it as polished all the time. Thankfully, the only point farmers I've ever run into is like throughout the years, maybe I've gotten like 3 attacks. Usually you don't get a lot of point farmers drawing your characters. Most people will draw good art, they'll put detail into it and care, and you always can tell. Point farmers are not going to be the majority people who draw your characters. On Artfight, you can add character permissions, just things in general like no gore or widespread rules for all your characters. You can also add in your character's bio little details and things like age, gender, height, maybe personality, just anything that's about your character specifically. While permissions spans the whole entire thing for your characters, people will see underneath each character will be your permissions. Permissions tell people what you allow and what you don't allow. So people will read you don't allow gore, or you might allow changing colors slightly for styles. However, people seem to not read these as much anymore. This year I had several people who will read my characters who are marked for don't draw unless they're with other characters because I don't want art of them as much, right at the top, right beneath the character's reference sheet. But I got art of the characters anyways, or I got art where I'm like, hey, I don't really want art of this character too much, can you draw this character? Because they also have other forms, and people would still draw the characters I didn't want art of as much. So this is more of a pet peeve, I suppose. I also included in my short permissions list, I just have a few like do's and don'ts, and one of my things I say, please don't include me in mass attacks, or ask before you include me in them, because most times in mass attacks the characters are so small and so low detail, it's just not exactly fun art to get. Like, I don't mind mass attacks that have my character where I'm like, hey, there it is. I don't like when they have mass attacks that are looking for your character in like an absolute sea of characters. It's like finding Where's Waldo, but with your character. I'm not a fan of those. But honestly, those are my only issues with Artfight. It was a fun time, and I'm already excited to do it again next year. Thank you for listening to me ramble, guys. I appreciate y'all. Remember, God loves you and won't ever leave you. Or if you don't know God, if you're interested in getting to know him, I'll leave a link that tells you how you can become saved in the description. Anyways, I'll see y'all in the next one. I hope you enjoyed.